Ever been admiring a nice engine bay and noticed those threaded lines? Wondering, how could I make my engine look this clean? Today, Friend Co will show you how. First, pick your correct fittings as well as lines. Well, Alex has got the rest.
So for any of you that have never made AN lines or plan on making some soon for your first time, here's a little tip for you. Wrapping some electrical tape. I like electrical tape. A lot of people use masking tape, but electrical tape's got a little bit of like a compression once you put it on there. Wrap it where you're gonna cut it because it'll fray like crazy once you cut it. And then you're gonna have to have some sort of like either a die grinder or a hacksaw to cut it with. You're not just gonna be able to use like snips or anything like that. That's not gonna work. So you'll wanna wrap it real tight, get a nice clean cut because you've gotta get those fittings on and those fittings are super, super tight. So you can see here that we've already done that. This is one that's been cut. So that'll work. We'll take that tape off and put the fitting on there and cut it where it needs to be on the next one.
Walked all the way over here and forgot my safety goggles. This'll have to do.
A die grinder is probably better, but we'll just use this big cutoff wheel for now. Pretty fast with it. You don't want to put a ton of heat into it. Obviously it's a rubber hose, so it'll just start to melt. So just cut it through as quickly as you can if you're going to use something like a power tool like that. We got a right length AN line. Let's go match it up, make sure we didn't do a incorrect measurement, and then put the fitting on this thing. All right, so now that you have your line cut to the desired length, you're gonna need to put a fitting on the end of it to connect it to whatever you're trying to connect it to. In this case, this line is gonna be connected to the inline fuel filter. So we need to put another -6 line onto here. So we'll cut off our electrical tape. You can see the electrical tape did a really nice job of keeping everything from not fraying. Obviously, if you would have cut it with that cutoff wheel without that, it would have frayed like crazy. So that's what you want. So now you've got your AN line cut, ready to put your fitting on. These are reverse threads. And once you get it kind of to bite, you really got to just start forcing it on there. And this is not something you want to attempt and reattempt a bunch of times because you'll just mar up the end of that AN line and then you'll never get it on and you'll have to cut it and start over. And if you're doing it like most AN lines, they're cut to the exact length they need to be, so you don't really have a ton of extra room. So perfect on there. It's never coming off. We're good to go. Now we can use a fitting such as this to go into the line. That fitting going into the line and connecting to this fitting is what gives it its seal. So you really got to crank that in there. And then this has a female threaded side to go into our inline fuel filter. So then once we'll mount this to here and figure out how long our next line